and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Daddy and More Podcast. This is the best podcast, the best Christian entertainment podcast in the north of Limpopo and south of the Sahara. Today, manze, I'm so excited. Usikuwa na guest mwenye unafeel you're just so excited to have on set. This is one of those guests niliwish angekuwa the first guest on this show. Because the wealth of knowledge that this guy has is crazy. I call him the Podfather. The guy who introduced me to YouTube. My first YouTube video. Kwanza alikuwa explain mambo ya YouTube na shanga, what is YouTube? The first guy who told me about a podcast. But when he was explaining it to me, nilikuwa nashindwa, how boring can people become? Ati una watu wasio wameka down wanapiga stories zao. And this guy, he was so adamant that he started his own podcast. And I don't know, if we do our own research, I think this is the first guy mwenye alianza story ya podcasting in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the podcaster himself, the Podfather, Astar.
Bro, Podfather.
The Podfather.
Your title ni poa sana. Nimeichukua.
Yani you're the inspiration, man. Unaona venye najua na kushinda kwa miaka, but then nikwambia ukweli, you are my mentor when it comes to podcasting. Yeah.
You're ni deep, you're ni heavy.
No, bro, I'm so serious.
You're ni crazy.
I watch your show and I always feel like this guy knew this thing long time ago. This guy was onto something and this guy was always ahead of his time.
Lakini hiyo kitu inaweza kuwa curse at the same time.
I know.
You to be ahead of your time.
Yeah.
It
can be a blessing in disguise.
It's a blessing
or a curse in disguise.
And a curse. It's both of them.
Okay.
Yes.
Brought to you by CH Studios, creating content that connects.
Uko aje lakini?
Mimi niko firi.
I'm happy to see that umeanza podcast na umeni-invite. You know, people don't invite me for podcasts. Wanataka tu ni wa-invite to my podcast.
Mimi, I was like, to be very honest,
yeah.
I was even scared. I was just saying like, wacha ni grow afu nilete. Because unajua ni Podfather, man. Wacha ni grow tunao afu leo nikasema, bro, I think it's the right time.
I love it.
And I've watched you building that thing. I've watched you making Kenyans understand what is a podcast. And I've watched you transcend from, because mimi nimekuja through music.
Yes.
There are people who don't know you through music. The generation even you any rapper.
Bro, imagine.
Lakini people like,
in fact, I'm like, hata hujasema a thing about music. Kwa nini mimi nilikuwa tu blip kwa industry?
Bro,
nikadisappear.
Let me tell you the truth. You are huge when it comes to podcasting, bro. Like, I don't think there are people. Right now, there are so many podcasts. But I remember when even there's a time when unatuambia, guys, I want you guys to join podcast. I want you guys to start podcast. Nasi kwa nashanga, why? Me hata ukinita podcast niko nashindwa, what am I coming to do? You get? But the day I came for your podcast, nearly understand what is a podcast, the difference between a podcast and a TV.
Wow, you're ni deep.
That's when I understand, because unajua tumezoea unapiga msana kwambia next week on Friday you're coming for this show, please be there after news. Bro, unaona manguo, unafanyia vitu zote, unafika pale yani ndio mmeanza tu kupiga story. Imeingia commercial, unaanza kupiga story, wanaoji mtu mwingine, unaanza kupiga yani hata hujamaliza story yako umeprepare kitu kama tu
bro,
unasikia tumeingia news. Na news ikiingia unasikia ni breaking news, alafu sasa imekuwa ni news sasa.
Yes.
Nyinyi mnabaki hapo mnaenda home. So there's nothing substantial.
You are like the commercial.
Yes. And I used to feel bad because it used to make musicians, most of the time musicians look very stupid. Most people never understood that musicians, kuna wale wako well learned, kuna wale wamesoma vipoa, kuna wale they understand geopolitics, they understand football, they understand entertainment, they understand
business,
technology, business, you understand? Because there was no chance for anyone to do that.
Ukweli.
So, bro, I have so many questions, but the first question I'll ask you, na bro, kwanza hapa ndakuacha tu nikusikie.
Nani sasa?
The first question I'll ask you, When did you realize that Kenyans can consume podcasts? And when did you realize that you can start something like that in this country and you'll hold on to it to date?
Yo, umeanza deep, but I love it.
Yes.
So, I have to give you in context. Siwezi just bonga from the beginning of podcasting.
TV interview.
So, I like it. We're not limited. Lakini tunataka commercial break. So, sponsors wakuje. And they're coming, I promise. Because how sponsors come is if you have audience. Yeah. And a lot of money inasonga kutoka mainstream media, the old school, to podcasting. And also another thing is, even CEOs, people in your specific niche and industry, wanataka kubonga about themselves. So I promise you, watch and see. Granted. And it's good money. Pesa ni poa. Pesa ni poa huko. If you do it right. Yeah. So anyway, his story inaanza 2001. Actually, properly inaanza 99. In 99, in 2000, 99 ndio nilipata internet in my room. 99. Mother yangu alikuwa, she worked as an expatriate in Kenya. So in her own country, my mom was an expatriate. Alikuwa na work for BET. So Benson and Hedges, hizo mavitu. It's my mom who brought those things. So because
Benson and Hedges na ngotu Kalamashaka.
Yes, in my mom ndio alipeleka Kalamashaka, Nigeria.
Oh my god.
You get. So I even gave wakina Ted Josiah that thing of Kenya First Chapter. Benson and Hedges are the ones who funded them. So internet kukuja, it was connected in my room because that's where the computer was. But then in 2000 when my friends, mimi nilikuwa Breban.
2000.
Yes, nilimaliza A levels. All my friends walienda either US or UK. Mimi nilikuwa bado home. So what happened is on the internet, I would go and I'd talk to them. WhatsApp, that time was called MSN Messenger.
Yeah, I remember MSN.
There was no Gmail, it was Yahoo and something called Hotmail. On Hotmail, there was MSN Messenger. Hotmail sa imenunuliwa by Microsoft. It's Outlook and all those things. Anyway, why is that important? Because that was when now digital nilingia vizuri. Before I touched digital, nilikuwa nimetouch computers. Utang walitoa CD that was interactive. So, but I had nobody to email. Rafiki zangu zote walikuwa huko. Tulikuwa pamoja. So Hotmail and then MSN Messenger. Now in 2001, naenda South Africa. Everyone in my class wameenda US or UK for university. Mimi nimeenda South Africa. But niko na hizi Kodak films. So I developed those Kodak films. I scan. I'm failing in accounting in school. Sitaki parozo wangu wanipigie drama. So I pick up something called web designing. So I design a website. Now these photos that I have here sijaokoka. These photos are vile tulikuwa tuna club huko Kenya. So everybody and then remember my neighbor on Dennis Sprit ilikuwa msee anaitwa Jackson Makini aka Prezo. Wow. So tulikuwa na record music on cassettes. So at the same time nikienda South Africa, remember I've told you about my mom and Audio Vault.
Yes.
So all of this, by the way, itatai vizuri sana utaona. I have these Kenyan First Chapter CDs. Yes. So now I'm in South Africa. Niko na pictures, niko na music on cassettes, niko na CDs, na niko na website. So it is the first time I start the first transfer from analog to digital. So CDs, MP3, photos, JPEG, because in university we had a scanner. So I put all these things on a website called Kenyan Madness. At that time it was kenyanmadness.8k.com. Because then kenyanmadness.scriptmania.com. Your Scriptmania 8k ni free servers. That website started crashing because of how many people were coming on. Nilikuwa na get 1 million hits in 3 days.
Those are Kenyans?
Yes, of course, they were Kenyans, because it was the first place ever that you could get Kenyan music. So a company called Net Shopping walini sponsor. So it became kenyanmadness.net. That was when my life changed, because in 2001 is when I started thinking digital first, because also I got money.
Wow.
So when I later on nikaokoka, nikakuja huku Kenya, I became a musician.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, could distribute music unaweka tu on Kenyan Madness, but then I didn't want to call it gospel kwa sababu mimi sikuwa nimeokoka. I know people wouldn't like gospel, so I started calling it mwapi, music with a positive influence. So I started opening up my space for people. That's when nilikukujia.
Yes.
Nakwambia ingia high5.com wewe unaniambia hiyo ni nini?
You know, at the time tulikuwa bado tunauza tape bana. Tunaambia mambo ya cc.com. I'm just like, what is that?
But then you see now, because my audience ilikuwa nani? My audience ilikuwa the Kenyans in the diaspora. So me, wewe unanipatia, that time I was close with Pinye. So everybody used to come and tell me, patia Pinye. So your kapungala, when do you nipatia? Niende nipatia Pinye, Juliani mentality. But then, before giving Pinye, nilikuwa na upload on a platform that had just come up called YouTube. So YouTube, this is come at 2007 hivyo. Yes. So me na upload videos on YouTube. In fact, the first song nili ever record, I uploaded on my YouTube channel was Pam and Abbas.
Sing with that.
Pam and Nimechoka. That song is called Nimechoka. You get? That's how a while ago it was. Then now every musician just started giving me their music to give Pinye, but then me na upload. But you see now, me, I'm always thinking digital first. Again, I'm opening up Facebook. Hata Facebook yako ni mimi nilifungua. In fact, I used to talk as Daddy Owen. I used to talk as Daddy Owen, Kanji, Mavuno, Church, Ekodida, Juliani. Everybody was you.
Churchill,
everyone.
Yes.
Churchill, I went later on, but then to train them.
Okay.
So anyway, so you see, in this time I'm digital first. So hata kwa Kijiji, my work is digital. Even more sound would call me for digital. Where tunafanya hii social media kitu aje. You seem to understand. Mavuno Church, digital. So everybody was calling me for digital. Marketing digital. So Facebook in a calm. Then this time, I'm stopping to be a musician. So okay, so I become a musician. Then now, YouTube hire me. Now that was the game changer. So the reason YouTube hired me, vile walikuja Kenya, wakatafuta the biggest YouTube channels. Wakaona channel inaitwa Richard Njau. So wakaniita. That time they wanted to create aggregators. So me siku join. I didn't become an aggregator because they were shocked. They're like, where's the company when him say moja tu? So they said, you go and learn. So they taught me. Then later on, I started now working. They called me to work for them. Okay. Now when they called me to work for them, there were only 4 YouTubers in Kenya and maybe 7 in Eastern and Central Africa. Imagine.
In Kenya, there are only 4.
4 YouTubers. A lady called Kangai Mwiti. And by YouTubers, I mean, unaona vile wase una-upload every other day. Si ati ku-upload ngoma, alafu unaacha. Vile una regularly, you are doing for YouTube. You're not doing for other things, you're doing for YouTube. There are only 4. A lady called Kangai Mwiti. Sharon Mundia. Sharon alikuwa huko. And the other 2 I keep forgetting. But there were only 4. So it was my job.
Clemo alikuwa amejoin at that time?
Clemo alikuwa amejoin as a studio. Clemo, in fact, that meeting where I told you YouTube walitupi itaote, even they called Clemo. But the reason they called Clemo was because Juakali alikuwa my hit, and they used to record, they upload their videos there. And then also Clemo had a whole industry. Alikuwa na loot, kushoot. Mimi nilikuwa tu Richie. Wewe una kitu, una company, you have nothing. You're just coming as Richard. So they're like, this one. So, and the other people that were called was NTV, Citizen, Clemo, Protel, so you can, Homeboys. So you can imagine they're calling just Richard Njao, alafu mimi ni msee moja. So, but then I went under Protel and I learned.
Yeah, I remember I used to meet you.
Yes, I even got a TV show under Protel. Yeah. So me, I'm learning about content creation. I even became head in TV and radio for a TV station called Fountain Media. So I'm learning all these things, and then now YouTube, Google called me. History signed you inakuja connect. Google called me, but not under YouTube. They called me to be head of G+. G+ ni social media ilikuwa come up, but then because people were not going to websites. Watu walikuwa na lala Facebook. So they were trying to get me to convince people to use G+. So I told them, hakuna shida, mimi nime research industry. Kama nataka watu kutumia G+, fund them to create content. G+ told me, sorry, we don't fund. So you told me you just want me to talk to people to use. Kwa nini? Fund or nothing will happen. So they told me, sorry, won't fund. 6 months walikuwa na nilipa 250k every month. Na sifanyi kitu. I couldn't believe. I used to feel bad. I'm like, unanipati hii do yote. No, I'm asking you guys to do something. So I begged them. They're like, we can't fund content. I said, okay, do this. Google Hangouts iko na kitu. So wakaenda kwa Jacko Dongo's house because he had a studio like this. They connected internet, and then Eduji. They had cameras like this, and then we started streaming on Google Hangouts. That's the first time I ever did a podcast. So I interviewed so I did it for 4 weeks. Week 1 nilifanya Moz, week 2 nilifanya Ann Kiguta, week 3 nilifanya I've forgotten. Mugash. Week 4 nilifanya Tony Mwaura. Week 5 nilikuwa nafaa kufanya Octopizo. Then that thing ended. So for 6 months walikuwa nalilipa until I told them let's do one more. So one more they agreed. I did Kenya at 50. Hiyo kitu kwa Kasarani. We set up a Google Hangout. So my contract ended. Mi nikasema wacha niende kwa J Blessing and just convince J Blessing tufanye hii kitu. So nikaenda kwa J Blessing. When I'm begging J Blessing, I'm like, J Blessing, there's a thing called content. J Blessing amona tu do amesema nani ni aggregator? Mi nataka kuwa aggregator. I'm like, forget aggregator, let's first create content. Yes. Let's create content. When I'm at J Blessings, I get a phone call. J Blessing ko Westlands. Your phone call imetoka Google. They're like, come to the office. Your office nikaenda. Your office iliko wapi? YouTube. So now God brought somebody all the way from Nigeria. And that guy said, I want somebody interested in content. Everybody in Google walisema, Mr. Content ni anaitwa Astar. So it's called Landry. Landry akakama akaniambia, I hear you're Mr. Content. I'm like, yes. Okay, we're creating something called a YouTube enabler. We can't fund people, so we will fund you. Wakanipatia do. Couple of millions.
Landry name sounds familiar.
I've never talked to him again. He's never called me again. He just went. He just said, help people create content. So that's when now I started. I formed a company called Foab Digital, and I started creating content for people. Caroline Mtoko was my first person. I did something with my wife, 52 weeks, 52 songs. I started telling people rules. Lazima ukishoot, lazima ikuwa 5 minutes, all these things, do like this, intro, nafanya hivi, body. So those were in podcasts, but there were people coming in front of a camera, wanabonga.
So it's just more of a content thing.
Yes, content. 5 minutes videos. If it's about a product, you just sit and talk about it. 5 minutes, unaenda. But then now, after doing that for 1 year, this is about 2014, 2015. So 2015, nikasema, I'm going to people and tell them, let's do videos. People tell me a video can't be longer than 5 minutes. I'm like, I came up with that rule. Sasa unaniambia your rule. So I said, you know what? I'm going to teach people. I'm going to show people just as long as you have value, people don't care. So number 1, I said, I'm not going to be on camera. Number 2, I said, I won't have a script. Number 3, I don't know when we'll start, and we'll talk until we talk, just as long as there's value. So in 2015, I think sometime I recorded my first podcast, and that was Eric Msioka. So, but remember, I had stopped being a musician. Yeah. You are my friend. Me and you, we meet. No. You get?
I've known you for years.
For years. Na meet Mo, na meet Kanji. Yeah. And I'm like, Kanji mentored me. Yeah. But me, I mentored, yes, with hip-hop to mentor Wakina Kodida. But then I'm like, I meet these guys all the time. Wacha niweke tu camera, tubonge vile tunabonga. Yeah. You get? Now, these guys, they may not have access to me or you, but they can have access to this podcast and they can learn. Because I could see after our era, music from a not a sound, from a character perspective, ilianza kuenda chini. So I was like, watch a complain, give them a solution. These are kids who are not taught the ropes.
Yeah.
So explain to them the history of how they got here.
Yeah, I always, you'll never find me criticizing that generation.
Yeah.
You'll never, I never criticize them. I meet guys that are like, hey, muliacha gospel ikiwa mahali pazuri, mkachia vijana wengine hapo kuja karibu. Because people don't understand how sometimes the entertainment industry works. You can enter into something with a very different perception or a narrative about it. But when you get there, you find the landscape is very different from the reality. And then you start applying what works for you. And maybe what works for you at that moment is very different from how it used to work before.
Yeah. I mean, you kitu na completely agree. It was money-wise, even during our time, tulikuwa nakutana Hilton, hata hatuna fare kwenda kwa school.
Usiseme Hilton, sema Bata Hilton.
Unaona? Nje.
Bro, sema Bata Hilton hapo nje. Kwanza kusema tukimit Hilton. You know guys, you think like tulikuanga
It was by faith or by faith. Yani kai tunaenda, unakumbuka vile tulienda Mombasa na Kekru?
I remember.
Bro, tuna arrive hotel. Hatuna food. Nothing. We are like wasi kibao.
Kwanza sasa hivyo, unaona kama Bata Hilton, shida ilikuwa ngaa. You can meet them kwa tukaa 15. Gari inakuja inabeba watu 7 peke yake. Yaani wengine marudi home. Unaona mlifika huko mapema.
So now imagine when other guys are coming in the industry, you're being paid 100,000 for a gig.
Now selling someone.
Like these guys are entering na kuna door already.
I was selling someone. By the time the gospel industry became a peak, I remember Safaricom used to spend like more than 220 million.
Imagine.
More than. Close to 300 million every year on gospel.
Yeah.
Close to 300 million.
On gospel.
Yeah, and we're talking about Safaricom. We are not talking about Coop. We are not talking about Coke.
Yep.
We are not talking about all these other companies which had invested like in the gospel industry.
Yeah.
So many people didn't know. But behind the scenes, some of us used to know the checks because nakatoko. Yeah. So the guys entered. You see, I always explain this cycle. I don't know if you remember the cycle of 3. I always explain and I say, as a Christian, there's a first stage.
The laborers. Yes, I remember.
The labor stage.
Yes.
You understand? There's a labor stage, which is where now you are 40 days and 40 nights fasting. Now you're in the wilderness. Like you're doing all these things. The first stage. The second stage is the favor stage.
Yes.
Whereby anything you touch turns to gold. The Midas touch. And the miracles, performing all the miracles. And then the third stage, of course, is the stewardship phase. But now, if anyone joins the industry or whatever you're doing in this second stage, they always believe everything is like that.
Yeah.
So most of these guys entered when now the labor stage is done. Now we are at the miracle stage. We are whereby it's called the favor stage.
Yeah.
Everything you do flows.
Favor. Unakumbuka there was a day on 31st. There were 3 gigs.
Yeah.
All those gigs in Nairobi were gospel artists.
Yeah. And they were all full.
Full.
And there's a time you could switch all media stations.
Yeah.
All media stations were just broadcasting gospel.
Yeah, exactly.
All media. Yani umetoka hii umeswitch umeenda kwa mwenyewe unachagua unataka na gani.
Na unajua I realize mimi niliingia at the end of the labor stage.
Yeah.
So I labored, yes, but not like Peter Dera. No. Not like Kanji. Not like you. You get? Vile nilingia, it was the end of the...
Mlikuwa mapunk. Mlikuwa mapunk. Nyinyi akina Riga. Akina Riga is...
No, nyinyi wase mlikuwa wa ghetto. Wow. Wacha nifungue roho. Yeah. You guys were rough around the edges.
These guys are
You know, tulikuwa nakumbuka, there's a time tulikuwa naenda kibanda. Kwanza mimi I'd never been na kibanda. Tunaingia kibanda. Wanaleta chakula. So mimi napiga story vile napiga. Naangalia chini.
Imeisha. Kwanza upate mimi na red eye.
Lena. No, wale maboys wa zaidi ya muziki. Lena, Kera,
Ken,
Samu.
Samu.
Yeah.
Sisi ilikuwa gani?
Wewe bonga utakula hewa.
Tuingie mahali yani ilikuwa disaster.
Alafu wakina Kenti later on.
Yes.
Emoji.
We were so ghetto, man. Lakini sasa utafanyaje?
But you know, I'm so happy you guys showed me that side of life.
Yeah.
Mimi nilikuwa natoka ubabini, like I had never been on this side of life. But then life ilikuwa imenichapa. So by the time I'm getting saved,
bro, I remember your story.
Mimi nilikuwa nimechapwa na life. You know, you guys caught me now in my homeless era.
But I came to your parents' house one day.
Yes.
It was around those
Yes. Ridgeways.
Ridgeways.
Garden Estate, yes.
Yes. I remember, man.
But bro, you're parents. Yes.
No, I'm just trying to remember because we've been friends for long.
Yeah, ulikuja hapo nilikuwa I was a host of a TV show called Get Lifted. Tukaishutuko.
Yeah. I remember.
When a Deno.
Yeah, I remember.
In fact, hii ndio photo. Unaona dated up.
I remember, man.
Yeah.
But I remember your story was, ever give us your story. Because najua uligrow ya kiupunk and then something happened in between.
Yeah, niligrow. I wouldn't call it. It was blessed. I was born with a silver spoon. But then I had this passion for music. But me and my family, you don't become a musician. Unakuwa banker. So nilijaribu bank. In fact, rest in peace, Frankie Reri ndio alinipatia my first job. But after like a couple of weeks there, I said, never again. Mi sifanyi hii kitu. This is not for me. So, but because I decided to go music, my parents were like, Pia man, unataka kuwa mfalme, eh? Okay. Leave our car, get out of our... But I was also a manga. Let me not say it was just that. I was refusing to go back to school to South Africa. Unakata kwenda South Africa to do music. So by the time now I'm deciding to go that route, they're like, okay, if it was to teach me a lesson, so I go back to school, but it didn't work. So now it meant leave our stuff. You go do your music. Enda pali utaenda. So by the time you're finding me, now I don't have a home. I'm living with my aunt. But God ni nani, my aunt lived next to Kijiji, and after meeting Kanjina, I moved into that.
Where was Kijiji at that time?
Behind Junction.
Yeah.
So, when I was but I didn't have friends like you guys. I didn't have, in fact, Swahili nilikuwa na learn kutoka nyinyi wase.
I remember. Because I remember you guys mlikuwa mnatuogopa kana sisi because sisi tunakama oboho. Lakini sisi ndio tunaogopa because tunajua utatuza kitu kizungu na sisi ndio kizungu. So
Mina Juliani tulikuwa na bonga in sign language.
So we end up avoiding each other because now you guys utonge kitu kizungu.
No.
Utakuza kusema kizungu utashinda kujibu.
No, mimi like because Juliani alikuwa ananiuliza everything in English, mimi namuuliza dondo ni nini? Dondo noma inabidi chapo dondo ama
you guys mlikuwa
Buda dondo ni nini?
I remember the days, man. Sax alikuwa anakuja kwa hizi ndizo lakini alikuwa punk. Nyinyi mlikuwa
Sakaja. Unajua Sakaja alikuwa kwa video yangu?
Sina kumbuka.
In the name of Jesus,
Sasa mlikuwa na click fulani, mlikuwa mnajita hip hop.
But thank God for Kanji. Kanji ndio, you know, I met all hip hop kwanza, tulianza hip hop, alafu tukokawa later on kwa chit chat.
So give me your journey, your musical journey.
Musical journey, I always loved music. Yeah. Me, my famo and music have always been connected. From the day I was born, music. So I always listened to music. In class 3, I went to Mount Kenya Academy. In class 4, I used to DJ in Mount Kenya Academy. Na ku DJ ni kusema tu kucheza tapes. We play the song. Because my uncle had a catalog of music. In 96, I left Kenya, I went to the UK. UK, all I used to do, Virgin, your shop ilikuwa inaitwa Virgin by Richard Branson. You are Richard Branson, usiniangalie hivyo. Yeah. Virgin. Yeah. But I used to go and buy CDs, singles. So I was obsessed with music. In 97 December, I come back to Kenya to visit. When I come back to Kenya, nimekuja na CD mob because to give my uncle. When I give him, amefungua club. Your club inaitwa Zigzag.
Zigzag?
Yeah, I tell my parents I'm not going back.
Pale Hurlingham?
Yeah. Niliambia my parents I'm not going back. Nikakata kurudi UK. So I moved in with my uncle. Nika joined Brayside. Music. Now I was a professional DJ. Not DJ for proper like beat matching, not the way it's done these days. Then even with vinyls. So that's where music. So I wanted to be a DJ. So my whole time in Braeside, Braeside, all I wanted to be was be a DJ. And then now after that, I wanted to be a music manager. But my parents were like, "Where unaenda to study business? Watch a history, a music manager." So every time I was in South Africa, I'd research to get music management opportunities. So I was supposed to get one in New York. But when I went, visa was denied kwa sababu nilikuwa na work and I was still a kid. So nika come home, I was feeling depressed because I didn't go for, it was a gap. It was not a gap year, it was just under Isaac. So niko naenda tu for like 4 months. That holiday in the November, December, nirudi January. But then my plan was I was going to go to America and never come back. Okay. So it's a good thing I was denied. So I came back to Kenya. Now, when I came back to Kenya in 2004, so because I went to university in 2001, in 2004, I refused to go back. I said, I'm going to do this music thing. They're like, "Oh, you're going to do music? Okay, go be a man." So they kicked me out of the house. Then I went to... No, this time I was living in Loresho. Okay. And remember, my parents are in the UK. Okay. So I'm living with my uncle in Loresho. Okay. So my parents tell my uncle, "That guy wants to be a musician. Let him go." He's refused to go back to school. My uncle was moving to Karen. Don't move with him. So in Loresho, there was a studio called SRS. Now, I started producing for musicians. Mr. Googs, Shanky Radix, Vinnie Banton, nani mwingine alikuwa SRS? The guys of Bambika na Ingoma Noma, Doobies. I even did a song, "Dem are gonna thighs, Atina Joanna, the Rukunim dies." Oh, na. So now I'm a producer. This time, my guys are coming to me, Sharon MC. Guys are coming to me to produce. But remember, I'm homeless, so I'm sleeping in the studio. So after this, I'm like, watch a. So I go to Mombasa. They said, "Let me just go and chill kidogo." I go to Mombasa. My grandfather had hotels in Mombasa. My grandfather is Matiba. So Matiba had hotels in a place called Alliance Hotels.
Guys, mnasikia lanes.
Wait, skiza. Sorry, naenda pali.
Guys, mnasikia lanes. Ama msikizi lanes. Please, can we pause there kwanza?
The reason why my famo went to the UK is when Matiba went through what he went through in 92. My dad was given the orchids business. Orchids was flowers. Yeah. So that's what moved my family to the UK. But let me tell you, there's no better country than Kenya. So I go to Safari Beach Hotel for 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks, for about a month. Nakunywa tu. Then one day I go to the beach and I sit down. And I'm like, I'm either going to die or something changes. And that's when I had a voice. And that voice, I was like, "God, I know this is you." Because my parents were saved. I'm like, "I know this is you, but wacha kunisumbua. Me, I don't understand why you've put this passion in music in me. But then you're not letting me do it. You just want me to be a banker. Everybody just wants me to be a banker." God is like, one, it's because you're not saved. So I said, I'm seated alone. There's nobody. I said, "Okay, no problem. I get saved." My parents were saved to me. I'm like, to get saved, I just have to believe Jesus Christ is Lord. I believe. That's not an issue. I believe. And I confess with my mouth, Jesus Christ is Lord. But actually, I told him, if you want me to get saved, I want happiness and I want to do music. So I get saved. So God asks me, I asked God, "So what about this music thing?" He's like, "Shida ni wewe. You're trying to do music management. I don't know this. I want you to rap." I'm like, "Mungu, sina sauti ya kuongea. I'm hopeless, on the cordless, mini skillless. Mungu akaniambia kama yule Moses, who gives man his mouth? Who makes him deaf or dumb? I am the great I am. Put this mic in your hand. Speak to my people. Go when I say go." That's why I started rapping. Yeah. You get? Yeah. So I'm like, okay. That's how I became a gospel musician. And even now when I have stopped, the gift is my mouth. It's just changed format to podcast. That's where my favor is. You see the way Joseph went, the pit, Potiphar's house, prison, palace. The one thing that was constant is in all these different packages, God was with him. I can't touch the rappers right now. But when I was a rapper, you couldn't have favor like me. My gift hasn't changed. And it took me a while to understand this. Because I'm like, any God, why did you just stop music? It's like, it's not the gift is it's in your mouth. So even I had stopped calling myself Astar. But it's like, I didn't give you Astar as a musician name. I gave you Astar as your name, your identity. Matthew 5:16, let your light shine so that people can see the good things that you do with your life and not praise you, but praise the Father in heaven. Yeah. So, sija change, you may change packaging. It's now podcasting that I'm doing, but it's not, and even other things come because of podcasting. Every job I've ever gotten in the last maybe 5 years, not 5 years, 10 years, it's because of podcast.
Let me take you back, Kidogo. When you say you listened and you heard the voice of God and you knew this is the voice of God, and you've mentioned something just after that, you said, because my parents were saved. Do you believe, as a parent, you are a parent right now, I'm a parent, do you believe it's very important for us to understand God and teach our kids the voice of God, for them to realize so many things? Because that influence, I don't think you could have deciphered the voice if you even don't know where it comes from.
So first and foremost, you don't even teach your kids God by reading them the Bible. You teach your kids God by how you live your life. Yeah, number one. Number two, when you live your life, and I call myself an SO, I'm a sent one. Yes, so the way Jesus says, I am sent, so that's how I live my life. Mm-hmm. So when I make decisions, I talk to my kids like they are not like my age, but I don't hide anything from them. Like recently, I left where I worked. And they asked me, oh, Daddy, so why have you left where you work? I said, because God said. Oh, he did. He told you. And this is how I've always talked to my kids from even when they were in the womb. Like, so when you talk about the voice of God, you just tell them how God talks to you. Because God may talk to them differently. Yeah. Like my youngest daughter, there's another thing she did. Yani, she came and told me, she was like, Daddy, I was playing in the field in school, and then I saw God and I lay on the grass and I prostrate. Mm-hmm. She didn't say prostrate. She just said, I laid on the grass and I started saying hi to him. I said, how did you see him? He said, he was in the sunlight coming through the clouds. Mm-hmm. So how God will appear to you is different from how God will appear to me. Yeah. What you just have to let them know is God can speak to you.
Yeah. You need to understand that God can speak to you. Because that's another thing so many Christians, you might miss out on so many things.
And guys always ask, how do you know it's God? I say, for me, God and doubt are together. Because God is always talking to you. But when God asks you to do something that's extremely hard or difficult, that's when you start asking, is it really God? Yeah. But God akikwambia take a sip of water here, you're not going to ask. You're just going to, utafanya tu hivi. Yes, hiyo unaweza. But then akikwambia, enda uchukue bank account, pesa iko kwa bank account toa yote. Yeah. Patiana.
Anza kujenga safina.
Like, that's not God.
So, at Kijiji,
yes,
there was hip-hop and chit-chat.
No, in Kijiji, what happened first was, when I joined, I was the musician. Riga was there before me, but Riga had not recorded anything. So he had not recorded anything of his own. Okay. So when I came, I started recording. Because me nilikuwa my whole album in my head. Because remember, God has told me to rap. Kazi yangu ni kurap. I'm like, no problem. Me, if you said, this is a new life. Remember, I was in banking. I hated it. This one, at least I'm happy. Number two, God has brought me to a studio. Because kwa Angel, I say I was walking from studio to studio trying to get a record deal, but producers kept on saying, Astar, not real. Nilikuwa naenda studio zote. No one is giving me a chance. Kanji finally gave me a chance. So when I got that chance, bro, sikulala, nilikuwa na everything in my head. So when I recorded, I started doing things with K-Crew. Remember all of...
But do you understand why guys were not giving you a chance?
Yes, because I was one who's doing this English thing. Yeah. Number two, alafu gospel.
Not even number two. Let me tell you something. When those days, pure English, bro. I don't think hizi studio zetu za mtaani zingekuwa understand. So I think it was just predestined for you to meet Kanji.
By the way,
because when Kanji ni mapunk, nyinyi ni mapunk wawili. So of course you understand each other from the same language.
By the way, imagine ni ukweli.
Yeah, because they had
you know your world. I used to look at Kikru and I'm just like, you know, Jana I was driving in Nairobi and I was just like, Nairobi may change. Wow, Nairobi may change. Now, me when I would come to Kikru, I was like, where? First of all, remember, I've gotten born again. So this is new. Even if it's punkier born again, it's new. I'd never been to church before. Radio, that's why me in the first place I ever took my music was Capital FM. I didn't know about Hope or all these things. So being born again is new. Completely. Alafu, how I say wa ghetto is just another madness. So I'm learning things with you. I'm learning how to catch maths. I'm learning how... Yeah. I'm learning what... But then also, I'm enjoying. I'm so free.
I remember you used to enjoy the school missions. You really...
Yeah.
Like crazy.
I'm like, this thing is just too crazy.
You guys had like your own cohort.
So what happened now, after Kekru, is when... Remember, us guys... Because of Kanji, we liked doing things live band. But nobody's doing live band kwa Kekru. Kila mtu ni backing track. But then because Kanji and Mavuno, we're learning live band. So Kanji one day comes and says, do a live gig. Please note, this live thing everybody's doing, no one was doing it. No one, like I tell me anybody who did hip hop live with a live band before us. Juakali, even when we did Kisima Awards 2007, Juakali alienda kwa Astar was playing the bass guitar. Akamwambia, "Wait bro, wacha kufanya chui." Chris Adwara akamwambia, "Wait, hapo ndio electric guitar." So they just didn't know.
Yeah. Mimi naye niko so busy trying to interact with kina Ben Gidai kule chini.
Yeah.
To fit in there, because for them they had like a very tight like a cartel.
Yes.
Whereby if you're not from their clique or crew, even selling your songs,
Nada.
it's hard.
Oh.
Yeah, because you see, there was an agent, Nduti. There was a super agent. There were shops there. You know, there was like a
bro, wacha nikuambie.
Shop.
Nilichukua Mavuno Worship Project. I went and I talked to a guy there. Akaniambia, Mavuno Worship Project usiite hivyo. Ita hii album Under the Rock. Alafu wacha kutupatie DVD. Enda kuja to produce VCD. So tukaenda tukaproduce 1,000 VCDs. Nikampatia. Have I ever seen that guy again?
Because there's a guy there, he was like a super agent. He used to be known as Nduti. So Nduti was, alikuwa anakuja anakwambia, umetoa album. Anakwambia, I'll give you 100K. I'll give you 200K. I'll give you 500,000. You give me the master. And then now he can express that album, bro. Because he was very good. He was like the biggest distributor.
Yes.
And he was not a distributor only in Nairobi.
Yeah.
He was a distributor back at TZ, Congo, and all those areas.
Bro, that you know, if I was to rewind time and do things again, number one, I would have thrown myself completely with you guys so that I can understand the language.
Yes.
So that I can break more into the Kenyan market.
Yeah.
My English helped me go Africa-wide. Miss sina shida, nikienda Zimbabwe. I've gone to Zimbabwe, SA, Egypt, it doesn't matter. But in Kenya, I penetrated only so much.
Yeah.
You get? Even with my podcast, how I've penetrated is because of who I interview.
Yes.
You get? Niki interview wewe, I tap into your market.
Yes.
If I interview, you get?
I get.
But if I was to do things again, I would have found my Kenyan roots faster. You get? Because
unaona kama hiyo time me and Jules tulikuwa tunapelekana part to part. But now the difference was mimi nikajua kupenetrate the common mwananchi.
Yeah.
Sasa kuna Jules angeniona.
Yeah.
Because now mimi nikajua how to make money, how
Yes.
to convert, and now how to get the common mwananchi to become your fan.
And you know, exactly. And then and we tried it with Kanji. We even brought Jimmy Gates.
Yes.
Huratetet, Mwazara, 40. Yeah. We studied him.
Yes.
And then your music Ours was this Maviti like, ooh, Suno will never hit River Road ever.
Never. Producer got a dead day.
And I wish I did the A&R of, we actually, to be honest, tulijaribu. But I wish I had, okay, I can't say I wish because the information that I've gotten through experience. Yes. So experience is the beautiful thing that has made me get to where I am, even to have this revelation. But my guy, you guys had your pulse on the ground.
Yeah. And for me, it was very intentional because you see, when my bro became big with Mwikulu, he was so busy to a level whereby I was the one who used to take his tapes to River Road. I used to distribute down there. Yeah. So when I used to figure there, even the way I'm dressed, they used to look at you like, how is you? You get it? But now I wanted to understand these guys. I wanted to talk to them. Akina Nduti, Akina Kiande, Akina Kasanga. I wanted to talk to them. And I really wanted to understand how come they're buying Mwikulu and they're not buying Ogopa. You get? Because even Ogopa, even if they sold so many copies,
they
just uptown.
Yes, they never got into River Road.
Because I can tell you for free, my bro sold albums.
Your bro, Esther Wahome, Jimmy Gates, Betty Bayo, Jamu Mathiongo. Wow.
I used to, like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I used to peleka 1,000 of copies, River Road. But I had to hire people to do that because it now became like a real business. And the demand was so high. Kwanza, the moment I chomoed Kerero, it was just...
Yeah, but that means...
Kerero was intentional.
Yes, ulipata formula.
Yeah, Kerero was intentional.
Unaniget. What it is...
was intentional. I did it because I knew the ecosystem down there, whether they like it or not, it was so dominated by the Kikus because the Kikus understood the market.
Wow.
They understood it.
That's why you did it.
Yeah, that's why I did it. It was so many of my songs, if you listen to them, if I give you backstories,
yes,
so many were so intentional.
Bro, naenda kuwatch your city tena.
Bro, Kerero, I really struggled with River Road until the day I did Kerero.
Yeah. And did you make money?
Yeah.
But did the money come back to your pocket?
Yeah.
So these guys would pay you in advance?
Because you see, for me, luckily, I did the blueprint with Brafton.
Oh.
So I knew who is a conman.
Oh, I get.
Who was I to deal with? I knew who was the big shot. I knew who was the middleman. I knew even this guy, when he picks these tapes, where is he going to sell? So I had the deeper understanding about it. And I knew who, because even the quality of tapes mattered.
Yes.
Even the branding, even the packaging.
Even the way you title the album.
Yes, really mattered. Because there was a time you could have two albums.
Yes.
One you package for Uptown and one you package for Downtown.
Yep.
Because I remember at Son of Man, I had two albums. The one that had a hard cover, was to sell at 20th City. There was a shop there. And then I had like Karatasi for River Road. I had to repackage.
Wow. But the thing that I think that you even understood more is the sound. You and Jimmy, because now you and Jimmy Gate understood, you had hooks, or you understood how to package a song. Because then you're ngoma zingine wewe unasema tu hey,
leave it on that. Hey, listen.
Saluti umesema nini? Umesema tu Kambua. Introducing Kambua. Jackie Kotero.
If you listen to my songs before System Kapungala, you notice I was a raga artist.
Yes.
I don't know if you
Nimesikia
I used to be a raga artist. Yeah. But when I used to go down
physical,
it's an integrated water pit calamity in the city. So I used to go down there. Guys are like, but we can't understand what you're saying. This song is nice, but mimi nitaipenda because mimi.com. So you find maybe the chart
yes.
of that guy anauza kwa shop. But anakwambia, if you put it there on the display, it won't go. Because those guys used to go there, they test those songs. They listen one by one. So the moment the song starts like this, wakisikia tu kwa guitar, wakisikia tu hiyo, they know this is what they want. So I had to, the moment I transit from, because there's a song I did called Pilka Pilka. Pilka Pilka, man, it was
yes.
like a Linga.
Yep.
That song, it was not mastered well, but it penetrated the market. And I realized this is where I need to go. And then the people who came to confirm that sound was Fundi Wambao.
Yeah.
And the biggest mistake Zaidi ya Mziki did, the moment
Walienda America. Ni hiyo tu.
and mimi nayo hapo nikajua hapa
Kuna gap.
there's a huge gap.
So let me ask you, let me even bring this home for you. You know that understanding you have of music then, that is just content. This is, you see, the beauty of history, people think history is for the past. History is the Old Testament to tell you about Jesus coming. It is God himself put the Old Testament there. Why? Because it is so important to bridge into the new. So you see what you have. That is the exact same formula for YouTube. Unaniget? But it is figuring out what is the hit song for YouTube. But not hit song. Here's where I have a problem, and that's why I started cleaning the airwaves. Not hit song to give people what they want without giving them what they need. Because sometimes that formula can show you the people don't want something positive. And if you give them something negative, udaku, whatever it is, you will get your views. Yeah. But you've done it with gospel. Yeah. You've given people... there's a time. It wasn't even... Let me tell you, don't also remove your own work. It wasn't just God's favor. It was also your understanding of the market. So your same formula, chukua and turn it into, what does that look like in content now? Because now, you're going to have... Kenya is very different. You're going to have... Kenya has minimum 10 million people who can give you views. Minimum 10 million. Kenya alone. I'm not talking about Kenyans abroad. So our thing with our content is that to may lock. You lock it either with language or with style or with communication, whatever it is, people are locking. That's why I travel the world. I travel the world because I'm like, there's no difference with Mr. Beast and me. On Tuesday, naenda Finland. Alafu naenda Moldova, naenda Romania, nimekuwa Estonia. I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, oh, these guys also consume content. What's the thread that inaweza nifanye content that my content doesn't get locked in Kenya? Nimeenda Zambia, nimeenda Egypt, I'm just constantly trying to learn. Because content should not be locked. Uko na the internet. The internet, rule number 1 of the internet, the internet has no barriers. When I was a musician, I uploaded my 3-piece on my website. Mi nikaanza kuitwa Uganda. That's how I entered into Uganda.
Yeah, I remember you used to go for events there.
Uganda, hata mpaka I was second to closer.
I remember.
I was like, that's how we ended Zimbabwe. You get? So the internet has no borders, bro.
So let me ask you, when you started, of course, because one thing I've realized, the biggest issue I've seen in Kenya, we always have an influx of podcasts. But in the middle of somewhere, like 3/4 of them just vanish and disappear. And the few that you know are the ones that remain. And I've learned something. Of course, this is just like new to me, but I've learned something. When you promise your audience you are releasing your video on Thursday at 4 p.m., you'll get the views that you expect. But the moment you change kidogo and you release maybe on Friday or Saturday, it's always like it never gets the same traction. That's number 1. Number 2, what kept you moving to believing into something that you're not copying from someone? Because, Kenyans, we have the mentality of, because someone has done it, it's so easy, you feel like, why should I start my own blueprint, my own template? Why can't I just copy the template and bring it over?
That's such a good question. Let me start with the first one. Content is a habit. So you're giving people, you're not giving,
Content is a habit.
Tukisema content, you don't understand. It makes it so, it dims it. You're giving people a video. What is a video? A video is a packaging of content. What is that content? Or a podcast, or whether it's audio. That content is 4 things. inspiration, entertainment, education, or aspiration. Aspiration means I want to be like you. As guys, so this generation, the reason they are watching so much local or Kenyan content, unlike us, is because they want to be like somebody that they see and can touch. TDJX ako sawa, lakini mi nataka mse atashrab kama mimi, I relate. It's like me and my music. Well, na hizo English yako yote, mi nataka mse kama Daddy Owen and I relate. So number one, you're not given, it's not content. So people have put in their lives, when I wake up in the morning, I want to be inspired. So they've woken up and they have entered a habit of being inspired every morning. But you, on Thursday, you've not given them. And maybe they watch somebody on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday is for Daddy Owen, because I know he drops. So you're messing up their habits and you're irritating them. So they'd rather leave you, forget about you, and keep going. Me, you're the worst with this thing. I'm the one who constantly is changing my things. Yeah. Because me, my mind is very simple. I do as God says. Yeah. So, but then the formula is, if you do it, stick to it. Until, remember somebody says a habit is formed in 21 days. Yeah. By the time somebody is listening to you for the 21st time, they are hooked. They are hooked. You're part of their DNA. You're hooked. They are you.
The system has...
You are in them. Then the second question was...
The second question was, when did you realize, like, you're doing something that is very
yes, I remember
that has no template, but you're still pursuing it?
So, I didn't know. I call myself Astar the Light. I'm a fire starter. Fire starter, nimse, anachukua something from 0 to 1. That is actually a gift God has given me. I've worked in over 20 places. I know when it's time, and I've been like, for a long time I used to be like, "Ay God, kwa nini niko hapa alafu natoka? Am I not a serious guy?" I learned this maybe a month ago, because I was like, "Hey God, kwa nini all the time I'm leaving places?" And it's not the people are chasing me, it's me who's like, "Okay, my time here is done." Until I've understood my gift is to bring something from 0 to 1. Meaning, I will always be ahead. I'm always, even AI, name it, I'm always ahead. And a lot of that is favor. But I didn't know, all this time I didn't know, had it be MySpace, WhatsApp API, especially digital, have it be YouTube, have it be these things, this YouTube studio. We had this thing in when? 2014, 2015. We had a full studio. Now everybody is doing this. You get? But it took... I didn't know. Let me also just be honest and say, I didn't know I was ahead. I didn't know when I was rapping. When I entered the industry with gospel, there were no other guys rapping in English. I was just doing what I know. So, but also niko na blinders. Meaning, have you ever seen horses? So zile horses zinakimbia? Ziko na hizi vitu. So I'm mature enough to do that. Like now I'm going global. It's costly. It costs a lot of money to flights, going, all of these other things. Why are you going to a place like Finland? Kuna nini Finland? Kuna nini Estonia? Kuna nini Norway? By the way, unawenda huko kufanya nini? Na saa zingine sijui. I just go and I'm just like, by the way, God, utafanya kitu hapa. Today, last week I've started a show called CTA Brand Stories. So it's podcasting, but to tell brand stories. Nice. But in a very different way. Again, I can... I know. Let me give a proper answer. God amenionyesha the end.
In a nutshell, where are we headed?
Niko crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me give you an example. My kids in the car listen to music I have created. That's it. They don't listen. My children in our car listen to music I've created. And those are songs that I've created, Evie. Enter.
So no.
Yes. So I take a Bible verse, come out of this song, Fire Starter, and I create. So imagine that world.
AI. Unajua ukisema sooner.
Yes, okay, AI. Okay, let's think of AI. So there's a lot of people who are going to, there's the real talk, and I say this without mincing words, jobs in Enda. A lot of normal jobs in Enda. But that happens with every technology. But more new jobs are coming than have left.
Okay, expand on that.
So for example, did you think this was ever a career 10 years ago?
No.
How many people are podcasting? So how many cameras are there? How many people are in social media management? How many people are in all of these things? Just this alone. Hii ni career. Msi anasema hii ndio nataka kufanya na maisha yangu.
Hata kama size wa mic. Unajua mic ilifika mahali ziko tu za studio na za stage.
Yes.
And then now mic zimekuwa ni kama
DJI. So the jobs that are coming, we don't even know exist. When I finished university, or let's say when I dropped out of university, the thing that I am doing, that I started doing, did not exist when I was in university, because Facebook did not exist. Facebook came after, and that's when I entered proper social media management. Mm-hmm. You get WhatsApp did not exist. Mm-hmm. Now forget even WhatsApp existing. TikTok alone, kuna watu hawatoki TikTok. They don't watch this on YouTube. There are people who watch this whole thing
on TikTok.
Only on TikTok.
You can find that one video na post on TikTok, unapata iko kama 300,000 views. But you go to YouTube, hata ija convert to that.
Yes.
And you're like, this person aliwatch hapo,
yes,
na ametosheka na ako sawa.
But history, again, it was the same thing. People stopped going to websites. They went to Facebook.
Social media.
They got stuck. In fact, that time ilikuwa social media, ilikuwa tu Facebook. Walikuwa nakaa Facebook the whole time. Facebook used to be banned in offices. So where we headed? We're headed to a place where you have to unlearn. Number one, unlearn. Kama sahi, do you know this podcast? AI is so good, you can convert your talking to English or to Chinese or to French. So why, but your mind only thinks Kenya. Your mind can't think otherwise. Your mind can't think otherwise. Because how do you even begin to think like that?
Do you know what you're reminding me of? I remember.
The whole world is yours. I
remember two guys. You remember there's a time, there's a ringback tone when you used to call someone and then say, thank you so much for calling Richard. Richard is an English name that means you are.
Yes.
It's a friend of mine who went to different countries and translated all those things in those different countries. So he saw those things in Brazil, in Thailand. You understand?
Umeenda mbali, Julian Kula. Alifanya the same thing. I'll lend you credit and then you pay back. Yes. That's how he became, that company was going to be worth $1 billion.
Yes, I remember.
So, number one, you have to unlearn. Bro, where's the capo? You have to go and look at your album again, Son of Man. Useme, what are you? In 2026, what are you? If you're not useless, what are you? Your data. That's what you have. Your data. You see, let me give you a secret. I don't look at my podcast as a podcast. Mm-hmm. My podcast is data dump. So watu wamekuja.
Exactly what I said in this podcast.
I have 3,000 videos. I have so much valuable content that people right now, let me give an example. This is real talk. You can do it right now. You can go to an AI thing called Notebook LM. Mm-hmm. You go to Notebook LM on AI. You take Peter Ndegwa's podcast that I did. Mm-hmm. You put that YouTube link, you put it in LM. Mm-hmm. And then now you take your company profile and you put your company in PDF. Mm-hmm. You put it into Notebook LM. Then you say, now, here is where we are as a company. Using this experience of Peter Ndegwa, give me information about how I should transition.
What?
So not through the whole internet, only with this. I can take 6 videos, I put them all together and I say, create this thing.
I mean, I'll take the fuck you one.
You get? You can do it. You can write 7 books right now in 8 languages.
What is the most challenging interview you ever did? That was just weird. It was just...
Can I not say his name? But Sijaitoa.
No mention names.
there's one that I've done. I went and recorded. I've never released it. I went and recorded the person. The person wasn't in a good place in life. But that time I was young. It was COVID. So I recorded the person. They were not in a good place in life. They were in a tough place. But I didn't know. So it's only when I'm recording and I'm listening to what the person is saying and I realize this person is really depressed. They are in a very, very hard space of life. So I actually just stopped the interview halfway and I started talking to the person. But the person doesn't like me now. But they'll thank me in a couple of years. Or maybe even now, maybe they've realized why I didn't release it.
Give me a top 5.
All of them. And I'm not saying that I'm just saying all of them because when I recorded you, I needed somebody to believe in me because I was doing something no one was doing.
At that time, where were you recording?
Emory Hotel.
Emory, yeah.
Yes. So you came. When I was doing Julian Cullers, I was in the prison. So there's one video the guy says the purpose of the prison. And he doesn't know that me I was in the prison at that time. When I was doing Peter Ndegwa, a recent one, I was like, look at how much money hii kitu inaweka kwa my pocket. Like, nalipo kufanya hii, like, good money. You get what I mean? When I did Kendin Twiga, nobody knew her. No one knew her. But here I was doing an interview of an unknown person with an incredible story, and that thing goes and changes her life. Same with Mercy Mongela. When I did Nameless, like, shock as well. So all of them have been wonderful depending on season. Like this guy, DJ Mo. Kwaje Mo? Kapoa? Aliko hize tunangojea tu. I told Mo that, and I told Mo, and hata jui, he thought I was lying. Told him the day I get 1 million subscribers, that's when I'm coming for you and size 8. That's when I'm going to come and ask you.
And on the conversion rate, when was the first time? Because me, I always remember the first time I was paid for an event. And when they gave me money, I was like, what is it for? Because I was so used to doing free gigs. To a level whereby I never understood why someone would pay me to perform. So when was the first time someone paid you and you're like, what?
For event?
No.
CTA. Podcasting. So what I did in the beginning, I would charge. So first of all, I was not charging. Then it got to a place now. I knew I was in that stage 1. What's it called?
The labor stage.
Labor stage. Yeah. Yes. Nilikuwa na till the ground.
Yes.
So I had to pay for people, and I said for music I will never charge a musician. But then now when we entered into business people, now that was crazy. But then there's somebody who asked to come, and I was like, I doubled what I asked them.
Okay.
Now walilipa. So I'm like,
so shocked.
I'm like, all this time I've been undercharging. All this time I've been undercharging. Yeah. But
that's where the realization came, and you're like, I can charge people. So where did the name CTA come from?
Musician, cleaning the airwaves.
Yeah, I remember.
When I used to go around and used to want, when you guys would give me music to go give Pinye. So when I would give Pinye, I'd be like, if gospel music is so powerful versus what I used to hear in the morning. Yeah. In the morning you're waking up on mathries, you're hearing about people have dogged on each other. Yeah. I'm like, come on guys, this let's clean the areas of this. Yeah. So I started making it my mission to put people's music the problem wasn't content creation. We had the most amazing content creation. The problem was content distribution and content promotion. So I said I'm going to help people with content distribution, especially because I knew some people in the secular world. And that time, the biggest place you needed to get to was the beat. Yeah. Once you get onto the beat, everything else worked on. So so then I had a dream. No, I went for the Core Awards, last one. Then you can close after that. I went for the Core Awards. And at the Core Awards, I thought I was going there to win $1 million. I was like, yani mziki imenipeleka hapa. In the name of Jesus, I'm winning $1 million. So I met the king and I asked him, what are you doing to prevent negative music from entering your country? We talked. They told me, hey, P Square is not available to come. Tomorrow, you will be with the president. So I went to meet the president. And me, I'm like, this president is going to get saved. Akaingia, akaniambia, hey, God bless you, let's pray. Yeah. We prayed for 2 hours, bro. Sikukuwa na kitu kusema. I was like, never again will this ever happen. So when I went to sleep, I had a dream. And in the dream, I even said this at a Groove Awards. I had a dream. I'm like, hey, I don't have a wife. I'm not even dating. I have no kids. And I'm with my future 6-year-old daughter. And I ask her, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to be the president like Obama? Obama was just about to become president. He had won. It was November. Now January has been president. She was like, no, Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be a hoe. I'm like, I want to be like I see on TV. Nito and go. I laugh. I make money. So I woke up. I'm like, I need to clean the airwaves. I need to clean the airwaves. And that's how we became Chit Chat. And that's when CTA, that's when it officially began.
But when you started, did you focus on just a podcast?
My second album, I gave it free. First, it was distribution. I came and said, niko na hii album inaitwa Letting It Go. It has 16 songs. Buy it for as much as you want. Mseli nipatia $1, others paid $10, some paid $500. One person came and gave me a check for $100,000.
And you never thought that whatever you started in your mind will ever become?
My second album, Letting It Go, was the first album in Kenya to be put online for free download. HD inakumbuka, I always say this one. HD came and told me, bro, naharibu industry.
HD ni holiday.
Holiday na Dana Seda. Wacha kuharibu industry, bro. Wacha umefanya tizi.
Yeah, I remember when I feel kama you've become desperate. Everyone is, at that time, everyone is selling music. And you're coming to give it for free. Guys were like, what are you doing?
And even remember at Mavuno, I would have the CD desk.
Yeah, I remember.
So distribution became a big thing for me. But then the internet. Now, so, yes.
The landscape moved and everything. So, for me, you're like my role model, man, when it comes to podcasting. You've watched our show. What do you think?
Continue. The hardest thing you're going to face is continuing. Uko episodes ngapi sahi?
14, episode 14.
14. The thing you need to do. Mic check is not mic check because of anything. Consistency. CTA, in fact, we are the worst when it comes to consistency. But there's nobody who can say there's more than 3,000 videos. Consistency. I promise you will be in shock because you already have this thing. And don't be scared to pivot. Okay. So consistency, alafu, go with the flow. Because what happens sometimes, there's a time I was doing musicians.
Yeah, I remember.
So
and then you shifted.
I didn't even shift, I added.
I want to ask you that.
Yeah, see, why shift? I added. I never stop. I just add. Because, to be honest, me, I'm not as good as interviewing the new musicians as I am the old. You get? So I know the generation of musicians or people I could interview. I just added. And even after adding that, after adding business, I added class in session. I added class in session live. Right now, you've even seen I've added CTA brand stories. Yeah. So I don't mind us. I add. And that one is dope because we go and experience a brand. We've just done for Sarova. And I watch you. It's crazy.
It's different.
So there's two aspects. We go and physically touch the brand and experience it. And then we do the sit down. Because some people don't want to come and talk about their life.
So on the sit down, it's more like now the guy is reflecting and then you're showing those videos.
No. So for example, let's say you make these phones. We go into the factory. We show this phone. Tunaifungua. We talk to not the founder, we go and experience it.
CEO,
yes. No. Qua ground, okay. in the workshop, we see the distribution. We go and see how they do this thing. We learn about their value change. Then after that, we go and sit with the CEO. But this time, the CEO is not there to talk about their life. The CEO is there to talk about the history of
the product.
But you see, the two are intertwined, especially if you're the founder.
Those I'm asking. So are you putting them like two different episodes or is just one episode?
No, there's two different. But then in them, of course, now when they're talking about this, the cutaways are real authentic. You get? Yeah.
The cutaways now, they're like real.
Yeah. So, for example, let me just give an example. Tumeenda Sarova. Sarova wakona 8 hotels. We went to 2 of them. We went to the one in the Mara and went to the Shaba. We went as fan people. Just going. But then we're asking everything. Tell us about this food. Cameras don't stop rolling. Tell us about, we go for the game drive. Cameras don't stop. So if somebody wants to go for that holiday, they just need to look at us and see what is offered. But then after that, we come back and sit down with the CEO. Now tell us, Sarova ilianza when? Did you know Sarova was bought ambassador?
Yeah.
Misi kujua?
No, you know, I know the story of Sarova because I used to have an office there.
Oh, me I was
Next
shocked.
building there. So I used to go to Stanley a lot. So I know their history, I know the thorn tree.
Oh, hey,
even
bro.
When he was mentioning the exchange bar,
Yeah.
I know the exchange bar.
Owen,
Yeah.
where's the ghetto sana?
Tutakuwa kitambo. Even the Salt League. In fact, what I discovered on your show is when he said they returned
Yes,
back
they returned it, yes.
to the previous owner.
Owen, uko sharp. So, okay, now for example, don't be scared of showing this side. You're not just a gospel musician. Una get? Don't let these guys box you. Let me tell you, when I stopped doing musicians, I lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I gained 10 times more than I lost.
I know.
You get?
So the transition between when you started now dropping the musicians and getting the CEOs and other people, I remember very well. Guys didn't understand you. And then eventually, slowly, they started picking up.
And it wasn't planned. I was struggling in business. I had 19 employees. I was messing up like crazy. I didn't know how to. No one had ever taught me. But Julian Kula, I had access to him. So now I was interested. I was not interested in learning about music. I was interested in navigating. How do you get capital? What happens when you have a big deal, but then you don't have the finances? Who do you go to? What is IPO financing? How do you deal with taxes? Those are questions I was interested in asking. So now I started getting those kind of people. But remember, I told you I had seen that all those CEOs, all those people, you're going to have to tell your story. I had seen money is moving from media, mainstream media, to here. We've not yet even started. You watch and see now.
But is it money?
Now let me give you an example. The West, the whole of the world wants Africa. They want, and they're wondering, how do we come into this place? Who is the translator? Who is, and not language, translates, who's going to bridge the gap between what these guys operate, who do they trust enough to come from this side to this side? So me, I'm like, how is Africa going to benefit? I'm not interested in you giving you a space or platform unless you have something of value to Africa. Don't come here to, bad word, but rip our country or colonize us again. So that is where the world is going. It is not an option.
So when you're talking about the money, is it real money? I mean, is it this kind of money that we see on TikTok that sometimes older folks like us don't understand? When we're talking about money, are we talking about fiat? Like,
you can easily make, easily, $100 million, no, not $100 billion, $1 million in 2026. Depending on your platform, depending on who you are, depending on the people that you market. But there's work to be done. I had to move. I had to start. Why do you think I started shooting at Hemingway's? Because I knew there's a certain caliber of people I'm going to interview. But you first have to, in faith, go there. Sasa utapata do wapi shoot at Hemingway's. That's faith. That's where us Christians have the advantage. You get?
no, kumbuke pia wewe ni grandson.
No, hey. No. Get no. Let me tell you the truth. The truth is, every first of all, my dad, forget even Matiba, my dad did everything he did. But my dad brought me to the point after school. I'm a man. He did everything that he needed to do for me to get over. In fact, my entitled mentality at a young, mature age didn't understand that. But once I understood that, when I was 20-something years old,
I wanted to ask you that.
Best gift ever, the best thing my dad ever did, my parents kicked me out of the house. Best thing ever. Best. If I was to go back to life, and even I told my dad before he passed last year, I told him, Yanni, that thing changed me. It made me find God. I would never have found God. I would have continued my trajectory. Number 2, real God, not a God for time till now. Number 2, it made me see life. I can sit down here with you and talk. Do you know how many friends I have? I've never even been to Buru. Do you know how many guys I know don't even know how to connect past Wayaki Highway? They have zero relevance. They don't know how to speak to the normal Kenyans. One of the reasons I really respect Uhuru Kenyatta, and that's one of my top list CTAs that I want to do, is because people don't understand how far that guy came from. To be able to touch the normal Mwananchi. Uhuru is my hero.
Right that he can speak Kikuyu fluently. Man.
The wealth that guy comes from, Uhuru can connect with a guy in Kibera, in Kisumu City,
He can speak like
Moranga,
Like-
in
fluent Kikuyu, and then you meet some people they're like, I mean, nasikia lakini sijui kuongea. You're like,
na hiyo ni mimi. At the same time, Uhuru can sit down with the queen, with the king.
yeah.
That is a gift. That's like when I understand it. So for me, your hardship,
Made you to become who you are.
yeah.
Guys, we have to make a request to this guy. He must come back. No, this guy must come back, guys. Like, I feel like badala tujagusa the surface. There's a lot that we need to talk about. I just want to request you, bro. Can you come back
for you,
us too?
you know, there are guys who helped build CTA.
Yeah.
Those guys, because now narip, sign kula. But you accepted on a at a time when I was starting my madness. You get? Number 2, I believe in your podcast. So for me to clean the airwaves, it doesn't have to be me. So your content going out there is still CTA. CTA is not a podcast I do. CTA it's a movement, it's a philosophy, it's a belief system.
Yeah. Bro, you have to come back again. For part 2.
Tutabonge, so zile umse akikam.
Yes.
Umse niko na swali mob for him.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. And for me, I'm very, very excited because I'm just sitting next to one of those guys who is a role model, who's been a role model for everything I do when it comes to podcasting, because I normally watch his show and even the way he asks questions and all that. And I've tried to replicate that on this show. And for today, I just want to ask you guys, kindly go and subscribe, like, follow, do all those things for us, because at the end of the day, like Issa is saying, we are here to promote Clean the Airwaves kind of podcast, because we believe we can, as the purists, we can have something different for the market, because the market right now is saturated with so many things, but we offer something different. And as a Christian, I would urge you, support us, walk with us, and may God bless you.
And share.
And share.
And share.
See you next time.
Power iko kwa the share.
Yeah.
Brought to you by CH Studios, creating content that connects.